gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Wave 5. Of course, my name is DJ Reg West. On this week's episode, you have seen this man come through your TV screen for about a decade now, maybe more. He's one of my good friends. We've actually, we met on the road touring with artists, and every time he comes to New York, he's like, "Oh, Reg, what we doing?" I'm like, I got you. Come through. Folks, this is my friend, the West Coast own DJ D-Wrek. D-Wrek, what up, boy?
What's popping?
How you feeling, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me, man.
No, thank you for allowing the time today. I'll tell this to everybody. Like our time is so valuable now, especially as we're getting older. Like we got responsibilities and all that like that. So I'm really, really appreciative of your time today. Really am, bro.
Absolutely. It's not a problem.
So as I segued in the intro, ladies and gentlemen, you know him from Wildin' Out. He is the man behind the turntables every day, all day, hitting them with the buzzer.
And every now and then if they deserve it.
Every now and again. How long has Wildin' Out been on the air, bro? How many years?
Let's see, 16 years, because we started in 2005. Yeah.
Is that the longest running show on MTV?
I don't know. They have the Real World. So I think they have the Real World, and that started like in like
90s, 99 or something like that.
Early, no, like 92.
Like yeah, that's right.
So,
yeah.
But they have different, every year they, have a new cast, or every couple of years they have a new cast, or whatever the case is. So we may be the longest running show with, original cast members, which, me and Nick and I are the only two people that have been on every single episode of Wildin' Out. So
how did Wildin' Out become a thing? Like, I feel like you might have told me the story in private, but let the people know how Wildin' Out became a thing.
All right. So back in like 2004, Nick was staying in my apartment, and we were just cleaning up around the house, acting stupid. BET was on. I think we had like Rhapsody the Basement or something was on, music and stuff. And then we was just, bagging on each other. You know what I mean? Just look like, whatever, how you do when you at the house.
I get you.
And then we were laughing and stuff, and Nick was like, "Yo, this could be a TV show." And I was like, "What could be a TV show? What are you talking about? Like, just go wash your dishes." You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "Nah. This could be a TV show where we telling jokes, and we got like, we'll just invite all of our comedian friends and all of our favorite artists that we know, and all of our favorite artists, and they'll perform, and I'll be the host and you can be the DJ and co-host." And I said, "What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be playing jokes from behind the turn. I'm gonna be saying jokes from behind the turntables. Like, I don't understand." And then his brain just started like, hitting on all cylinders. And then he started just conceptualizing it. And then, we were throwing ideas up against the wall and stuff like that. And then we just got other people involved and pitched it to a few people. And MTV said, "Hey, we like the idea." And actually what happened was, before we pitched it, Nick got some money together and we shot our own pilot.
So you had something to present,
right?
I got you,
right. And like that, Kevin Hart was on that. That
really,
yeah. Kevin Hart, Loon was like, I don't know if he was a musical guest, but he was a special guest. That's how long ago that was. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
And then that was presented to MTV and a few other places, but MTV, they got it. And then like the next year or later on in 2004, MTV came aboard and they said, we want to shoot a pilot for you, and then 2005, they said, "Hey, let's do 6 episodes. Boom. And it's been on ever since. It went away for a few years, but then it came back,
Right. Why wait for a few years during that time? Do you know?
I mean, I have my own reasons on why I think it went away, but I really don't know I mean, it was a successful show. There was never a drop in the ratings, never once.
Gotcha.
And I just think that maybe they got what they needed out of it. And then when they realized that there was a market for it, almost a need for the show, then it came back,
So over the years, you worked your way up just from, being behind the turntables into being a producer. How's that space for you?
It's actually, what's funny is my duties haven't changed. I just didn't understand that I was producing while I was doing other things I was doing. So, I work with the comedians. We do these workshops before we start taping, and because I understand the show all the way through and through,
Facts.
The show was conceptualized in my living room. So there's nothing about the show, unless I'm just not in the meeting, and I come to, a meeting, and next thing you know, we're going to throw coffee at this point at everybody, hot coffee. Like that'd be new to me. But as far that's, what I'm saying? So when new comedians come on or just different elements of the show happen, comedians, cast members or whatever, they'll ask me, how does this work or how does that work? And I help them through a joke that they have an idea for, or because I've done stand-up comedy before and I understand comedy. I mean, I'm a straight guy on the show,
Right.
With Abbott and Costello, I'm like the Abbott, I'm the straight man, you know what I'm saying? If it were Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, I would be Dean Martin.
Dean Martin, I got you.
And so, but I understand comedy, so I just kind of work with everybody through it, and that's part of producing,
Facts.
And I have just as much freedom to come up with game concepts and song concepts and everything like that as any of the other producers on the show. So I was like, I said to my lawyer one day, I was like, yo, I want to add in that I get a producer credit, and then when they were presented with the question, they was like, oh yeah, sure. Cause I was doing it anyway.
You was doing it anyway.
And I didn't even
get you.
Mm-hmm.
I get you. So it goes back to the old saying of you get what you ask for, right?
Right.
Like you only get what you're asking for. Yeah, right. You producing, but did you ask to be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
And just from, when you're on a television show, you see all the different things that are happening. You don't know everybody unless you know that person is a production assistant, or this person is a line producer, or whatever the case may be. You don't know. And then you don't know everybody's job. And once you figure it out, you're like, oh, I'm doing that too, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing this. And then you can say, because you're doing that, hey, I need to get credit for that. Because nothing besides the money, the most important thing is the credit, because that's what you take with you, into whatever other projects that you're going to do.
That's facts.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay on Wild now just a little while longer. Then we'll shift back to how we met and the rest of your amazing history in this business, brother. So there was a point where recently that Wild Out had to take a break. We don't have to really get into what happened. Everybody know what happened, but it's coming back. Is there a start date when you guys are gonna it was still in COVID season, but is there a start date when you guys are gonna start recording again?
We don't have an official date yet that I know of, but I know I'm hoping it's within the next 3 months. I know we did. VH1 started airing, I almost said re-airing, but airing the episodes that we shot before COVID, and the ones that hadn't aired yet. So they're airing those episodes as well as the everybody's favorite reruns and things like that. So right now it seems like everything, it's back to business as usual, which is I'm very thankful for. I got way too many responsibilities to be like, not working.
Right.
On my life.
Facts.
Right.
Speaking of livelihoods and all that, COVID has stopped everybody with a DJ in front of their name. Dead in their tracks. How are you doing mentally? How are you doing spiritually during this year and change of sitting down?
Well, luckily I was able to, I saved some money, so I didn't have to bite my teeth and just, trip off of getting the next gig. So I got really creative. Like sometimes I would just go into my studio and just play records and, listen to a lot of music. And I really started playing my guitar. I just started taking lessons, like self-teaching myself, but lessons on YouTube, and just really be around my son more, that was, his whole second year of life. So I got to watch. It's a slow process, watching it happen, if I weren't, if I had to go away on tour for 3 months or 2 months, come back, he'd be a different person. But I'm here through all that time. So I'm watching him. The only way I get to see that he's changed is when I look back in my phone and I go, wow, that was 2 months ago. He looks like a completely different person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And, so those are my two things, like guitar playing or my son and guitar playing,
Well, let's talk about BC before COVID. All the amazing things that we was doing out here.
Right.
I want to tell the people how we initially met. I think you might remember I was on tour with Kim, and you were on tour with Christina Milian. What I forget what city we were in. It might have been LA. To be honest with you, it might have been LA.
Was OJ at that show? OJ Simpson at that show?
No, that
was it outside?
Yes, OJ. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember OJ at the show. Yeah, Dougie. Yeah,
and
you was there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Naughty performed too. That's right. OJ was there. OJ was backstage. He was smoking a cigar. I took a picture with him. I remember this. I remember this vividly. I have this photo. It's probably still at my dad's house. Very crazy. Very crazy.
It was just random because it was an outside venue down in like San Diego area or something like that. And the next thing I look up and I look to my right, and OJ Simpson is standing there. Like he still had the juice to get backstage or whatever it takes to get backstage. I don't know. Like sometimes, you do a show and you're like, how did this person get back here? Because he's annoying everybody. But, OJ Simpson, OJ the juice. Isn't he the juice?
He's the juice.
Yeah, he had the juice to get backstage. And next thing you know, he's on the side of the stage taking pictures with us. I'm like, yo, whatever you need. Okay, whatever you need.
And this is 2003 or 4, somewhere around there. Somewhere around there.
We were doing Juno and all that.
Right.
And Oh no, no, we weren't. I was with Christina, so we were doing
Dip It Low. Dip It Low was out for y'all.
Yeah.
Yep. Dip It Low was out for y'all. Because I remember you were DJing for Nick and for Christina during that time. Because obviously they were dating during that time. So you know what I'm saying? You were you were dealing with both of them.
Right.
Did you enjoy tour life, like that portion of your career? Because we can talk about the other people that you DJ'd for too. Aaron Carter, Big Time Rush. There's a couple other people too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But how was tour life for you?
My favorite mode of transportation is a tour bus. Nice pre-roll tour bus. Just, the best sleep in the world is on a tour bus bunk. You know what I mean? It just rocks you to sleep. But, and one of my favorite things to do in the world is, Nick is like my little brother. So anytime we get to just go out and act a fool and just be ourselves and make money and entertain people, it's just fun. You know what I mean? Because it's all stuff that we just kind of came up with and people want to see it. And like, it's crazy. Like if you step outside yourself and look at it, from where it came from to where it is now, you can kind of trip. If not, then you're just like, it's just in it. I mean, you're just in it. But I really enjoy touring. Now, because I have a son now,
yeah,
I don't want to just, I'm not trying to hop on everybody's plane or anything like that. I want to go do what I need to do and come right back. And hopefully, hopefully, if I tour later on when he's a little bit bigger, like in the summertime and stuff like that, he'll be able to come out with me,
I remember a situation vividly of you were in the city with Nick, and you were in New York City with Nick, and you call my phone. I was doing something so important that I couldn't come to y'all. You hit me like, yo, and you were in the club. You call my phone. Yo, Reg, we in Lotus right now. We got the table. Yo, you gotta come through right now. It's popping. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna try. And I hung up the phone. Yo, I was so crunchy because I'm like, I can't leave right now.
That was one of those times, man, because I'm telling you, we would hit Miami, New York, Chicago, all the cities that, and we would just run through them. You know what I mean? And like when you were in the Bay, remember when you were in Oakland with
Jasmine
Sullivan? You were Jasmine Sullivan that time. And I think I got footage of that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. And that was crazy. You were in my city, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, this is my man doing his thing on at the Oakland Coliseum. It was crazy, man. Yeah.
Yo, that was one of my favorite performances because Oakland showed me so much love on that stage. Like all right, so real quick, some DJ talk for everybody out there. When you are touring with an artist, sometimes you have to warm the crowd up before the artist comes out. And you in a certain city, you better have those right records or else they're not gonna respond properly. Right. I don't know what button I pushed, but Oakland was on my back and they had me. It was rocking. That whole arena was rocking.
Yes. Because they'll let you know. Yeah, like like when you do a show at the Apollo, they let you know if it's right or wrong. Oakland will let you know. Chicago will let you know. Those cities will let you know if you're doing it right. And I mean, I know how you felt, man. I just saw the whole, it must have been like 16,000 people there, just
crazy.
Jasmine wasn't even on the stage yet.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's my guy.
Yo, one of my best memories of tour life was that moment right there, dog. Speaking of tour, how was it touring with the Wild 'N Out crew? Because you guys were doing arenas too. I just another quick DJ story. I remember when you hit me the first time you was coming to New York on the tour, you were like, yo, what's the hot records in New York right now? I need to turn this arena upside down. I'm like, I got you. Perfect. You went in there. I couldn't make it to the show, but you told me afterwards that place was upside down and around again.
Right. Because, and one of the things I've noticed, like just being in New York, Fabulous at one time, like if on the weekends, Hot 97, it's Hot 97 or whatever station, it's like they were playing back to back Fabulous records. If you're not in New York, you
don't know these records.
You're not going to hear those records. So I remember I played so many Fabulous records that, and I had that place just going and it was just Fabulous records that are not going to leave that area. They might get played in Philly, but they're definitely getting played in the city, and they work. It's crazy. It's like it's magic because you can do the same thing in Louisiana or any of those other cities. You play somebody, MC Skinny Pimp or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a real name, but if he's got the hot record, you better play that record, and
better play that record.
Lose their minds.
Yo, isn't it so? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because especially if you're a name DJ, it's almost like they look at you like you're too big to know what's popping in their city, and then when you know what's popping in their city, it validates them. You know what I'm saying? It's like it just makes them feel like, okay, we're on the map because somebody that's on TV that we invite into our homes, just out of Hollywood or New York or whatever the case may be, knows what's popping in our area. So it's kind of a big deal.
No, it's super. It's more important now than ever because I feel like nowadays, D, and like once we open back up, and if we're able to, well, you'll probably hit the road before me, in a sense of doing tours and whatnot. But like it's a lot more segmented now musically because I remember I think it was late 2019. One of my good friends got married. She moved to Dallas, and it's like it was literally Brooklyn versus Dallas. So all of her Brooklyn friends came, and all of the groom's Dallas friends were there. So it's like if I played records for her and her side, they were on the dance floor. If I played the Dallas records, they were on the dance floor.
Right.
It's super segmented now. Like I remember like when we like 2003, 2004, 2005, you could play 6 or 7 or 8 records from that city, and then the rest was all Universal Records.
Right.
I don't think it's that way anymore at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. Because there was just maybe it was the programming that was going on at that time. All the records were the records,
Right.
and then you had a few regional joints.
Right. But now with radio being, I guess, third in your choice of options that you reach for when you're going to listen to music, that's not really the thing anymore, right?
Right. Yeah, radio. I don't think radio dictates what people buy anymore at all.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely not like it was when when we were buying our first records. Or our first turntables, our first mixers, and things like that. It's totally different. So
right.
Yeah, it's just crazy how just with the invention of how we get music now, how it's changed because you can't tell.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. You have to do your research in each market, else you're gonna be falling on your face looking crazy.
Right.
Yo,
that happened to me in New York.
Really? So that's why you hit me the next time, like, Reg, what we doing?
Oh my God. I remember this.
Go ahead, tell the story.
I did a club. I remember there was this. I think it was the summer of like 05 or something like that, and just in New York, people were like, "Yo, D-Wrek, what you doing in New York?" Blah 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 blah. So I ran into some people and some promoters or whatever, and they hit me and asked me if I wanted to come to. I forgot some club, Diamond Club. Was it a club called the Diamond Club? I don't know.
I'm not familiar. I'm not sure. But go ahead.
It was in the city. So
okay.
I said, yeah, I'll come get some money. Offer me a few racks. So I went in there and I'm playing like we were saying, the records that are the big records, they were not working in that club. I needed to play New York records, and I had none. And the DJ, the New York DJ, was like, "Yo, you killing the dance floor." Like looking out because I'm trying to, in New York, I feel like we're more technical on the West Coast as far as like blending records and scratching and stuff like that. In New York, I've been more successful playing a record and then, stopping the record, screaming, and then just going dip it, boom, playing the next hot record. It didn't have to keep. I didn't have to keep the flow.
The energy. I understand. It all depends on your crowd because New York is in a sense is very segmented. Again, like you have some audiences that just want to hit a record, play the records we want to hear, talk in between, and you're fine. You have other audiences that's like, no, we got to blend. You have to have seamless transitions.
Right.
Those things still matter. But go ahead.
Yeah, but that's definitely how it is out here. And like in Miami, when I've DJ'd out there and stuff like that, I've had to make seamless transitions and things like that, and still talk on the mic because when you're quote unquote, people can put your face to your name. They want to hear the voice that they recognize. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so I've had to, learn to do that while I'm working and stuff. But yeah, man, I've had those nights where I've just died on stage, like comedians will say that. Just die on stage.
It's funny because like I can relate to what you're saying, but at the same time, like I can still hide, right? Like because a lot of my notoriety comes from an attachment. Like, oh, that's Reg West. He's fabulous as DJ. Oh, that's Reg West. he's Little Kim's DJ. Oh, but if I go into a market and I'm just Reg West and I don't announce my affiliations, there's no fishbowl effect, right? With you, there's always going to be the fishbowl effect because you've been in people's homes for over 10 years. So it's going to be, oh, what's he doing? Oh, okay. All right. So I can get away with a little bit more than you can, as long as I'm below the radar. You know what I'm saying? Like if people are hiring me because I DJ for Derek Jeter, and that space, I feel like I have more anonymity. Like with you, if they booking you, nah, they want to see what you're doing.
Yeah,
so,
I'm extremely scrutinized.
Right.
And, if there's a train wreck, if I, just mess up the blend or something like that, got to come out of a record, people notice that more so than they would, a DJ that, like the regular. I'm not saying you. I'm saying like the local DJ, because it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't at all. Let's transition into some of your other accomplishments. Like I don't think people know. I don't think people know that you act. I don't think people know them. And when I say people, I mean people who watch you for Wild 'N Out.
Right.
I don't think that they know that you, sir, are the rapper on the Danny Phantom intro. So anybody who grew up watching Danny Phantom, that's a little bit past my age bracket. I was more Transformers than He-Man, but anybody who watched Danny Phantom growing up, they might not know that DJ D-Wrek is the one rapping on the intro. Yeah. How the hell did that happen?
So it's funny because a lot of people, because it's a Nickelodeon show, a lot of people think that I got that gig because of Nick. What happened was in the 90s when I was a recording artist, I was working out of the studio, and the owner of the studio, or he was one of the engineers or whatever, something came up. Somebody asked him if he knew a rapper that could come and work on these records, on these theme songs or whatever. And so he gave him my name, and I got a call from a guy named Butch. He was not Butch Hartman, Guy Moon, I think. And he was the actual songwriter. And so went in, had a meeting, and they liked me. And so they presented me with this rap. And I was like, okay. And I'm reading it, it's like these older white guys that wrote this rap, and this song, the track was cool, but it just didn't go with it
had no flavor.
Yeah. So I kind of, embellished it, punched it up, took some words out, put some other words in and stuff like that. So, and then we did it, did a few takes. And then the next thing you know, I knew it was Danny Phantom. I knew it was a new TV show. I knew it was a new cartoon. And it just became what it was. I never even thought about it, after that. And now that those kids, because that was like 2004, I think. And something like that, 2004. And so if you were a 10-year-old in 2004 watching cartoons, it's 2021 right now. You're a grown man, grown woman. And you're reflecting on your childhood, like I still remember the Spider-Man thing, Spider-Man.
Facts.
If I met that person, I'd be like, yo, I used to listen to you every day. So I get that, you know what I mean? But now because of social media and people reflecting on their childhood, somebody put that on the internet, like, yo, I was today years old when I found out that DJ D-Wrek is the rapper on the Danny Phantom theme song. And it just kind of snowballed, and I see it pop up every now and then. But like that first day, it was like thousands and thousands of hits. Like, yo,
word.
Yeah. I can't believe you did that. I mean, just, I was just being, what do you call it? Tagged and stuff and mentioned and all these different things. And even Butch Hartman, the creator of Danny Phantom, of the cartoon, mentioned me on his page, and mentioned myself and Guy Moon. And so it's kind of nice to be able to, meet somebody with a full face of hair, come up to you and say, yo, man, I grew up on your voice, man. You know what I'm saying? Danny Phantom was my favorite, yo. And I'm like, yo, Appreciate it, man. You know,
Yo,
and then they want me to do the rap in front of them. Like, nah, I'm not getting ready to rap down. But everybody wants to know if it's Yo Danny Phantom. The first words are Young Danny Fenton, not Yo Danny Phantom. So all of you that are listening that care, it's not Yo Danny Phantom. He was just 14. It's Young Danny Fenton. He was just 14. Just so you know.
Light bulb. Yo, you just mentioned it, but let's talk about your career pre-Wildin' Out, because you have acting credits. You like you just mentioned, you had a rap career. You were signed. Talk about tell the people about your life pre-Wildin' Out, bro, please.
So I moved to LA in my early 20s, and I was in a different decade of my life when we started Wildin' Out. So I had all those 20s and early 30s were happening before we started Wildin' Out. So I moved to LA just like anybody else did. I moved to LA to become an actor and to do music and to just get involved in show business, which was not my mom's first choice.
Of course. You wait. So you moved from Northern California, from the Bay, down to LA. Got you. Okay.
Right. So then I just got involved. I used to dance in music videos. I used to dance for different artists. Did a bunch of demo tapes. I was
what's some of the videos? Come on, give me some of the videos, dog.
Oh man, I remember I worked on I did a Shanice video. What else? I did a Jeanne video.
Word.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the record. I can't remember all. There were a few other videos that I've done. I can't remember.
It's cool. It's
yeah. Cool. So there was that. Like I went out. Rest in peace to my guy Quindon. He just passed away like last weekend. But I used to dance. I was one of his dancers on the road. I remember when there was my last dance gig. I was dancing and singing background for a guy named Jesse Powell.
Of course, people know Jesse Powell.
Yeah. But the last gig that I got hired for was to dance for Tyrese. But I booked this big national McDonald's commercial, and I was gonna miss the first show of the tour in order to shoot I would have been able to make the second day, but it just landed on the shoot day landed on the same day that I was supposed to be in Florida. And I asked them, I said, hey, can I miss the first day? And they said, well, if you can't do the first show and you can't do the tour, I said, and I made way more money on that commercial than I would have made on a spot date tour with Tyrese. With Tyrese. And but before then I was an extra on Living Single. So I was, young, skinny kid with a big afro and a pick in the back of my head in the Flavor office. And I had done, a few commercials before then, or before that McDonald's commercial. That McDonald's commercial, I say that's my first big commercial because it was me and then a whole bunch of little kids, and they were chasing me, and we were running around and stuff. So and it was like I was really excited about that because they were casting in New York and LA, and every young Black actor was at that audition. And when I booked it, I was like, what? And so I was really proud of that. And then, I call it the Hollywood Shuffle. I've been Hollywood shuffling since I moved to LA. And, I've done a lot of things. I was a waiter. I used to work I was a cashier at Costco wholesale for.
You was doing all the actor things, Dougie. You was doing all the
Exactly.
actor things.
And then, I got fired from Costco. I was over in Korea and Japan doing K-pop and doing all kinds.
Wait. You can't glaze over that. You was where doing what?
I was in Korea doing K-pop music, dancing and writing and producing with all the hottest K-pop acts in the late 90s. And,
Word? I never knew this. Yo.
It's out there, but it's not like, what am I supposed to do?
Listen, you're supposed to listen. Everything in our past, long as it's positive, should be celebrated, dog. Come on now.
Right. So it's there. I learned from it. It was a great experience. I made good money. I was able to, take care of my bills and rent and everything I needed to take care of. And so now I'm here, with the whole wilding out thing. That's been a blessing because it kind of just took on a whole, like, its own wings, and it's just been flying ever since. It's just been like,
it's its own entity.
Yeah. And so I'm really great because that's been the best day job anybody could ever have.
Now, how did you meet Nick? That's I'm very curious about that. And when did you guys how did you guys get so close? Because I have people that I call little brothers too, like Mac Wild. Shout out to Mac Wild. Who's like I think we have a very similar relationship that you and Nick might have. Mm-hmm. So tell us how you guys got together.
So I used to be a PA, a production assistant on some Nickelodeon shows. I was a PA on the TV show All That, and I was a PA on Keenan and Kel. Okay. And so I became really good friends with Keenan and Kel.
Right.
One day, Kel and I were hanging out, and we were getting ready to go to the mall or do something. And Kel said, "Hey, we need to stop by the production office real quick because I got to meet this new kid that's getting signed to whatever, the same management company as us."
Right.
And so I said, "All right, cool, let's go." So we hopped in the car and we went by TRP, which is Tolan and Robbins Productions. And we stopped in there, and there was this skinny little kid, tall, skinny little kid who had on like a silk shirt and a silk red shirt and some silk red hush puppies and some slacks.
Damn.
And a little fade or whatever. And he was this 16-year-old kid, and he was the new kid at Nickelodeon, and it was Nick. And if I'm not mistaken, I met him there, and then he was like, "What are you guys getting ready to do?" And he had driven up from San Diego, and he didn't like to drive. He didn't like to drive, especially I think he was driving like his mom's old beat up car at that time. And I think the weather was kind of bad. Nick did not. I don't even think he likes to drive in the rain now. But if it was raining, he would pull off to the side and wait till it stopped raining. So if it was all night, he would just sit there and wait till it stopped raining before he started driving again. And so he's like, "Hey, what are y'all about to do?" He was like, "We're about to go to the mall." He's like, "Can I go?" And I'm like, "Come on." And that's how we met. And ever since then, he was just rambunctious, energetic, little kid. And, Kel and I were already cool. And he just kind of became the new guy. And
in the crew. Got you.
Yeah. In the crew. And next thing you know, we start working together. He was like, "Hey, can you, help me produce these demos? Can you do this and can you do that?" Because at that time, that was like early 97, I think it was. And so, yeah, he was still 16. And so I was still actively rapping and doing my artist thing at that time. So like I said, we were still Hollywood shuffling. I might have still even been working at Costco. So
9 jobs. Man,
I was doing whatever I needed to do, man, to pay the rent. And then that's how it happened, man. We became friends and just started working together. Now, while I'm out.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So wow, man. And So you've been with Nick through everything, the Gigolo era.
Mhm.
Yo, man, I ain't gonna front. I wish I could still play that record. I really wish I could still play that record. But anything connected to that man is like, what you doing? What are you doing?
Mhm. I play it. Especially if he's there. I'll play it. When we're taping Wildin' Out, and he wants us, like everybody, like we're always clowning each other. Not just me and him, but everybody the whole cast. We're always just clowning each other. So sometimes he'll just say the right thing, and it'll just make me throw on some Nick Cannon records for the audience.
Oh no, I'm talking specifically about Gigolo though, because
Right.
it kills. But any other record, absolutely, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I do it because, like if I throw in like Gigolo or any of these other records, except for the Just Blaze record, he's like, oh, that's my joint, play that. But any other record, everybody's just like, turn it. And Nick's like, turn it.
He don't like hearing his own shit?
I'm playing the whole record.
Yo, it's funny you say that. Like I had a conversation with one of my DJ homies the other day, and some artists don't enjoy hearing their own music in the club. Mm-hmm. Was Nick one of those guys back in the day?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. We've been in the club where they played Gigolo, but then what happens is, especially if the record is hot, and people know you're in the club, all the eyes just turn on you. So
fishbowl, straight fishbowl.
So then that kind of makes you feel uncomfortable, unless you're ready for it, and you're ready for it when you're performing the song, not when you're in the club in your little section, you're trying to do your thing, and next thing you know, oh, man, come on, man, like,
I get it. I because it's like it kind of ruins the night, right? Like I came to have a good time, and now I gotta be on. Like I have to be on. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like I can't sit down.
Right. It doesn't ruin the night. It just hurry up, and this 3 minutes needs to go by quickly, or 2.5, however long they played into the second hook or whatever. Just blend it quickly.
Blend this song quickly, please. Please.
Right.
Yo, with Wildin' Out, you mentioned earlier about like you guys being in meetings and prepping the shows and fine tuning everything. How much of the I should say the writtens, but how much of the battle portion of the show is on the spot freestyle, and how much of it is all right? Let's stay in this little pocket and work in that.
I would say 80% is like off the top of the head, especially with the battle rappers like the Charlie Clipses and the Conceiteds, and you know what I mean, and Justina Valentine, beast. Even Jacob, like the nerdy white guy, like the stuff he comes up with. I'm like, yo, and Sharon, these guys are incredible. Hitman, these are incredible rappers. So it's nothing for them to come off the top of the head. DC is really good at that too. Carlos, but it's almost like because we rehearse the show before we basically do the blocking. Sometimes we'll run some of it just to make sure that everybody hits their mark.
Right.
And so it's almost like when you're in basketball, when you're practicing for basketball, how to dribble through your legs, or you're running a triangle. You know what I mean? But you're not necessarily prepared for the defensive player that makes you have to go around your back. You know what I mean? Or have to make that improvisational pass before, that kind of disrupts your play. So that's kind of what it's like. It's like, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to do. But, when cameras start rolling, there's no telling what can happen.
I got you. And I asked that question because I've been to live tapings when you guys were filming in New York. Uh-huh. And yo, it's hilarious. I ain't going front. Like I really have a good time at the live tapings. Mainly because it's almost like everybody's trying to get the mic to get their joke off.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to see what actually makes it to the show, because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make it to the show because of timing. Right. Mm-hmm. Like I'm gonna get this joke off, but it might not make it on the show. It's
Right.
all on reactions too. They're trying to get the biggest reaction from the crowd and
Mhm.
all that, just because
Right.
you want your time. How's your energy towards the comedians on the show?
It's one big happy family. You know, Chico Bean is like he's like, I'm surprised we're not related. Like me and him, we get along so well. Like and he's so talented. But yeah, they showed me a great respect, because every single one of them, like, you know, people look at the DC Young Flies and the Carloses and all that. All of those people they all knew about the show before they came to the show. So everybody knows Nick Cannon and DJ D-Wrek. So there's a certain level of respect that comes with that. You know, now they're just used to me as a person, you know what I mean? And so it may not seem like that they respect me. People are like, yo, why you let them? Like, it's a show, man. And
it's a show, dog.
You know, like, and plus, once you get comfortable, nobody's safe. They're not safe from me. I'm not safe from Nick. Nick's not safe. DC's not. Nobody's safe. You know what I mean? So in order for the show to work, you have to be able to get at whoever you need to get at with, you know, without your feelings getting hurt. If your feelings get hurt, you can't be on the show.
That's one thing I love about Nick, though. Like it's almost like, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. It's almost like, yo, say whatever you want to say. Like if it's funny, it's gonna make the show.
Right.
Let it rock.
Right. Sometimes, you know, like I'll feel, because I know Nick is he'll say a joke that he thinks is getting ready to land, and to me it just doesn't, and that's my job to
hit him with the buzzer.
And I gotta hit him with the buzzer. People think, oh my God, you just hit the boss with a buzzer. There's funny in that buzzer. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of humor in the buzzer, and it can't just be a show full of bells. You know what I mean? But you know, look, Nick is not safe from the buzzer, just like Tim DeLaGhetto is not safe from the buzzer. Anybody else, you know? I want everybody to be funny, and hey, I might miss some stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect, and plus I'm in the moment too. In the moment, sometimes you don't hear what's going on. You know, the crowd is so loud. Sometimes I might not hear what's going on, so I might give the buzzer or a bell. I'm gonna give the buzzer or the bell based on what I'm hearing. And that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yo, so who are some of your favorite guests that you've had on the show over the years? Because there's been so many. Like, just give me a few that were your favorites.
Snoop, Kevin Hart. I mean, these are the obvious ones.
Sure.
E40. Who else? And there's so many people. I can't even think. But I just like anybody who gets involved in the show, because that's definitely a hard stage to stand on. Even like I'm on the stage, but I'm in my section of the stage, and sometimes I go to the front of the stage, and that's a whole different perspective. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of has to turn their head this way to look at me when I'm in the DJ booth part of the stage, but when they're just looking at you, it's a whole different thing. So I understand the intimidation factor. So any actor, comedian, artist, or whatever guest that comes on the show that just goes all out, I respect them. But some of my favorites are, you know, like I said, like Kevin Hart's just Mike Epps.
Mike Epps is good. Mike Epps was really good. I enjoyed Michael Blackston when he's on. He's
great.
I think he's good when he's on the show.
Charlie Murphy, when Charlie Murphy was on the show.
Oh, but God rest the dead. Charlie Murphy. Word. Charlie Murphy was great on the show, dog.
Yeah.
How much help are some of the artists getting when they have to give their freestyles? I know Snoop and Michael Blackston and Kevin Hart aren't getting any help, but who's helping and how much help are they getting?
You know, I don't know, you know, if you notice, like I remember the first time 2 Chainz performed or was a guest on the show, he was in the audience during the freestyle, during the, you know, the Wild Style. He stood in the audience and said, "I'm not participating in this. That's not what I do." Or that's not what I feel like doing. But, you know, I'm sure they get coached to a certain degree. I try to stay away from all of that stuff so it can be organic when it comes to the punchlines or whatever I need to do from my
right. That's wise, because you still have to judge the joke at the end of the day. Now I get you.
Right. So I don't, you know, if there are things that are set up or planted or whatever the case may be, I don't want to know about it because I want to be just as surprised as the audience when it happens, or, you know, just as disappointed, or, you know, like I said, the buzzer and the bell are equal opportunity buttons for me.
I think we covered a lot, bro. Yo, give the people your socials. Where can they find you online, bro?
You can hit me the @DJDWREK, and that's on Instagram and Twitter. I'm mainly on Instagram, so if you want to holler at me, DM me there, whatever the case may be. That's where I'm the most active. So it's DJDWREK, and yeah, and then, you know, Wildin' Out I think it's Tuesdays right now is when
it's every damn day.
No, it's every day. It's every day. But the new episodes air, I think, on Tuesday nights, but it's on right now.
Facts. I don't care what channel. You're gonna find some Wildin' Out for yourself. Right. Yo, go follow my brother DJ D-Wrek. He's online regularly, probably talking about some racist somebody that's out here doing something crazy. He getting into it too. He in the comments, all right? He might hit you with a bang bang on them comments too. I've been seeing my guy out here.
I
ain't afraid to fight on that gram, boy. What's up? Yo, post a pin, right? Post a pin. What's up? What we doing?
Drop your location.
Yo, D, man, I appreciate the time so much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my good friend DJ D-Wrek of the Wildin' Out franchise. Like he said, catch him every damn day on that TV, hitting the buzzer on your ass. Absolutely. All right? Yes, sir. Thank you. This is Wade Miles. We'll catch you in the next one.
Me, man. I appreciate you.